Why do gifted people get overstimulated? Okay, in this video I'm going to show you that you might have internalized social expectations and pressure, and that you, because of this, might be exhausting and overstimulating and overwhelming yourself as a gifted person. But before we get into that, let's talk about why gifted people can struggle with overstimulation in the first place. First of all, gifted people struggle both with understimulation and overstimulation. Many gifted people struggle with boredom and feeling like they don't get any form of novelty or challenge in life. And many gifted people struggle with overstimulation, feeling like there is too much pressure and too many expectations and too much to do. And okay, let's break this all down, shall we? First of all, gifted people are almost always highly sensitive people. Every single gifted person I met has tested as a highly sensitive person, including all that means. But what does it mean to be a highly sensitive person? It's said that highly sensitive people have higher depth of processing. When they experience sound or color or see a flower or look at a person's face, they see more than what the average person does, which means that they are more attentive and react more strongly to external stimuli and sensations. Yeah, to you, smells feel stronger, sounds appear louder, colors appear more vivid than for the average person, and you remember more, recognize more in people, even if you only looked for it at a short time, right? So going into a group, you might recognize the faces of the people around you and their expressions and what they might be feeling, and you might draw more conclusions for this. On top of that, gifted people tend to be people that have a higher ability towards attention. Attention is what allows us to learn faster. When we look at something, read something, when we listen to somebody talk, people with high and strong attention tend to remember more of what is being said. They can listen for a longer time, they can talk or study for a longer amount of time without losing track. They can read for a longer time without forgetting what they're reading, right? So we can talk about attention as, how long it takes for the brain to hit the point where it can't take in any more information. And yeah, a lot of people will push through this and keep reading or keep listening or pretend to listen. But actually, your mind has already hit its limit and it's already at the point where it can't take in anymore. Now, if you hit this point, or start to exceed this, that's when you start going into territory of overstimulation, right? So if you go into a situation and you have a really intelligent discussion with somebody, or you think about something really difficult, or you're reading something that's a very high level literature, that's going to be something that will overstimulate you faster. And so, why do gifted people get overstimulated? Well, simple. It's because you set too high challenges on yourself. You expect too much too quickly, and you're pushing yourself too hard. And why do you do this? Because you might have internalized social expectations and pressure, especially if you have been labeled as or diagnosed as a gifted person by your parents, teachers, or a psychologist, right? Now, with the idea of being gifted, there is the idea that I have to prove that I'm gifted. I have to mask or pretend to be smart, or I have to meet the expectations of other people because other people think of me as smart, or because other people recognize me as somebody gifted. I have to perform at a certain level. I have to be the best at maths, the most talented writer. I have to be the best at sports. I have to achieve and be successful in every single aspect of my life. And that requires me to work hard, work fast, and constantly top my results. So you might think that, every single day I have to get smarter. I have to study more. I have to learn more. I have to remember more. I have to do better. And I have to keep hitting new limits. I have to keep surprising people, keep impressing people with what I do. And if you have this mindset that every single thing you're going to do is going to have to be better than the previous thing you did, that's a recipe for burnout. Because in truth, the cycle of development looks more like this, right? And so you're going to experience more ups and more downs. On top of that, gifted people are not just highly sensitive, but they also struggle with another trait. They have a high ability to discipline themselves. Gifted people are more talented on average at managing their own emotions and attention, which means that they can focus themselves, they can steer themselves to keep engaging in an activity even if they are tired, or even if they're stressed, or even if they are worried. Yeah, gifted people often, because of this, can be described as unnaturally calm in situations where other kids would be upset, or as able to be very focused even if they shouldn't be, right? So here, yeah, once again, not all gifted people have to have this trait, but most gifted people have this trait of being able to discipline their emotions and mood and to manage their own attention. This requires executive function. So if, for example, you've also been diagnosed with ADHD, you might not have this trait, but most gifted people do, right? Okay. With this trait comes what could easily cause a person to become overwhelmed, because even if you are very sensitive, and even if you have a very strong reaction to external stimuli, and even if things are very demanding for you, you might still push yourself to keep engaging in that activity, keep socializing with other people, even past the point where you're starting to feel emotionally overwhelmed. Keep engaging in intelligent conversations, even if you're in an overwhelming or stressful or sensory overload environment, right? Like a bar or a pub, right? Keep working hard even though you're past the point of exhaustion. And many gifted people do this. They work themselves to burnout, they crash, then they get better, and then they work themselves to burnout, and then they crash over and over again, right? So there's this CEO mindset here going on. You know how a CEO will always be like, grind, work harder, longer, never have friends, never go out to do anything, never relax, never take a vacation, just keep going over and over and over again, right? That's the grind set of a mindset, right? Many gifted people adopt this kind of mindset because they are very good at it. They're very good at stealing themselves, they're very good at focusing, they're very good at overwhelming themselves, but this might cause a void in your life because you might struggle with mindfulness, meditation, social interactions with others. You might struggle to just relax. In the evening, you might not be able to quiet your mind. In the evening, you might feel like, oh, there's something I should do. I should be working hard. I should be studying. I should be learning something different. I should be working on a project, right? So you might have these kind of ideas in you, right? But recognize how rest is crucial to your long-term development and progress, and take care of your energy and mind. Remember that neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reform itself, to learn, to memorize, to have deep insights and revelations, requires you to relax, take it easy, and slow down and quiet your mind. Only in times when your mind is absolutely quiet, where you are absolutely still and absolutely at peace, when you're sleeping, when you're resting, only in these moments can your brain generate new pathways which allows you to learn and figure out things that you couldn't before. And by focusing on constant attention, constant action, constant work, you're denying your brain the potential to reform itself, to rebuild pathways, and to find out new strategies. Neuroplasticity requires you to resist unhealthy amounts of stress, and while stress can be healthy at a healthy and manageable level, overstimulation and overstress is absolutely detrimental to your long-term growth, which might mean that what you're doing is you're building yourself into a slow curve and drop, right? By pushing yourself too hard, you're essentially maybe achieving slow and quick results in the beginning, but when stress and overstimulation becomes a normal, everyday part of your life, you peak and maybe you even start to decline. And here you might find that I'm not as smart as I used to be. I'm not doing as well as I used to be. I'm feeling more stupid lately. I feel like I'm not as fast as I used to be. I feel like I'm not remembering as well as I used to. I feel like I'm constantly exhausted. Why is this happening? Well, maybe you just need a break, right? And here, that's why it's so crucial to take breaks and vacations and to allow yourself rest. But how do you do that? And what can you do right now to make sure that you quiet your mind and avoid overstimulation? Let's explore that in another video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, and see you all in the next one.